Hey, everybody. I'm all pitched up. All right, hold on. Let me get the pitch off.
Is that better? Hey, here we go. Listen, I wanted to do, I have to get on here really quick. I have no idea how many listeners I'm going to have today on this, and I know you're probably here for a piece of photography or creative something, but right now I have got to get this off of my chest. I just have to. And I even thought about it a couple of times whether I should even do this podcast or not. But I have a daughter out of town, and she's trying to fly in for Easter, okay? Now, I personally, just so you know, when it comes to rational thinking and common sense nature of things, that's like a job all by itself in this day and age, because nothing is common anymore, and rational thinking seems to be out the freaking window. And the one right now with TSA and the government shutdown and how that affects the airports and the employees, and I'm over here burning up, like I'm angry. But first, let me tell you my conversation with my daughter. She says she doesn't know if she should come in, which I understand, with the long, like many hours length of waiting going through security. Instead of 9 areas being open for security, they're down to 2. Employees are not getting paid. Many aren't coming to work. They're driving for DoorDash or Uber to make some kind of money because they're not getting it. They don't know when they're going to get it. This is my level of concern. Our federal government has 2 sides. It has more than 2 sides, but 2 sides are the winners, okay? Republicans and Democrats. My daughter I was talking to her, and she says, I'm not sure if I should come in. I'm afraid of all the scenarios. And I'm like, you're traveling by yourself. I completely understand. You know, I would almost say drive, but she can't, because the day she's supposed to leave, the next day she goes to work, and she's at a 9-hour driving distance. So that's not the best choice either. However, she was saying, well, if, the president would do something about it, and I had to stop her. I'm like, you do realize it's not one person, right? Like, this is the government. This is both sides. This is everybody that's in control that has never made the change yet. Like, I'm so confused on why, if you're a worker at the airport, how do you fall under not getting paid because the government wants to shut down over disputes on lawmaking or whatever? That should be their thing. Are the senators or the congressmen not getting paid too? I bet you any money if they weren't getting paid, they'd solve some issues really fast. But if it's the little guy, so they bump you up like you're so freaking important, the American, all for America. Yay. And then you do this bullshit. So this is what I'm trying to get at here. Logical thinking, critical thinking, common sense thinking. We are in the year 2026, and you're trying to tell me this is a problem, which they are very aware of, by the way, that is unsolvable. Unsolvable. But we have a war that we're doing across the seas that you can drop $100,000 bombs like it's nothing, but you can't figure out how to take the TSA workers and get them out of the crisis we're in right now, which, by the way, y'all put us in, right? So I know people who work at the airport. I know people who are public workers in general, and how their pay gets affected by a government shutdown blows me away, because it seems like it does not make any sense. You want to close the government down and y'all pause and y'all think about how you're going to make a law or two? That should not trickle down to people trying to provide for their families. That is ridiculous. We are Americans. We live in this great country for a reason. We say it's a great country for a reason. And something as simple as this seems to me it could be fixed. Am I wrong? This seems so simple. Just very simple. Let's figure it out, man. You're in control of everything in the government. Go to the Supreme Court, go to God himself. I don't care what you have to do. But there's no reason why public workers are not getting paid because the government wants to shut down. That should be two separate things. That's a high level of government compared to the low guy trying to provide for his family. So that really ticks me off. And the part with my daughter, we just had a conversation. Nobody was super aggravated, but I mean, I was explaining to her, I'm like, babe, you do know that this is not one person. This has been this way for 100 years, okay? Or whenever this was instilled, it was many, many decades ago. This has nothing to do with DT in office, okay? Nothing. And you have to hold both sides accountable. You cannot hold just one area. That's what they want you to do. They want you to pick a side. They want you to stay angry. They want you. All this control mongering is ridiculous. And if you're one of these Americans that are narrow-minded and maybe you just don't know all the facts, that's okay. I'm here to explain it to you. Both sides are responsible. This is not a Republican thing. This is not a Democrat thing. This is the simple fact that they shut the government down and they are causing this trickle-down effect to the little guy trying to provide for their families. The people that are working right now in the 2 lanes out of 9 are coming in to help their fellow employees. Yeah, they're there to help you out as the paying customer, but they're, honest to God, there for their fellow employees to help them. Because when, Kathy says, I'm going to still go to work, you, as her best friend at work, feel guilty not going to work to help Kathy. They're not there to help you in line. They're there to help each other and support each other. It's a family. It becomes a friendship. The ones that are driving for DoorDash and whatever it is probably haven't made that relationship yet with people at work. So they're out. All right. But putting all that aside, I am super confused as a business owner, which makes perfect sense to me on how we can resolve this problem. And it just blows me away so hard on why it's not getting done. Why is it not getting done? I mean, come on, man. If you can wave your pen and make things happen out the blue that seem impossible, and now they are, this doesn't make sense to me. And I wish they would get on TV and explain themselves and justify how public workers are not getting paid because you decide to have a shutdown. I would love to hear this. You want an uprising? This is what you should be uprising, okay? You want to come to America, which, by the way, this country was built on immigrants. The only thing we're asking you to do is come do it legally. That's it. You've been here for a while. You got a notice on, hey, you're going to get deported unless. Well, take care of the unless, man. You want to be in this country or not? So that's where we are. So things always seem to get out of control. They always go the wrong way. They always take a left turn. And it makes the overall scenario something it's not. All right? So my fellow common sense thinkers out there, my rational thought thinkers out there, you agree with me that this should be fixable, right? With the public workers not getting paid. I'm confused. I'm just very confused. If you agree with me, whatever platform that you're on listening to me, if you have an opportunity to get into the comments, I would love to hear your thoughts on resolve, not just complain, because we can all complain. I want to know about the resolve. Who do we write the letters to? Who in Congress needs to hear it? How many people in Congress need to hear those letters? How about we create not a class action, but a big old petition that we can all sign that says separate the government from public workers when you decide to shut it down. Let's create that form. Let's all sign it. Let's get it out there. Let's get it on X. Let's get it every social media platform you can think of. Talk about it on TikTok. You got a podcast? Mention this. Just mention this in your casual conversation. Joe Rogan does. Many other people do. And when you talk about things, the conversation starts and then resolve happens. But if you're going to sit in your house and wait for a government official to do something about it, that's not going to happen. If it doesn't affect their paycheck, it's not going to happen. But when the community speaks, they listen. But we have to talk in numbers, okay? So, all right, maybe I should have kept it on the high-pitched voice from the beginning so I didn't sound so aggravated. Okay, so you're here for photography. All right, well, I'm done with this podcast, but I'm going to leave you on some photography stuff. F2.0, aperture 2.0, is a much bigger eye on the camera lens than F16. F16 is a very small eye. It does not allow a lot of light in. However, for every positive, there's a negative. For every one side, there's another side, okay? That 2.0 large eye, what it does is that whatever it focuses it on, right in the background, it starts to not be in focus. That's that blur you get behind people, that's that bokeh. That F16, almost everything's going to look sharp in the picture, okay? But whatever you have to do to expose for either of those aperture settings, those are the results you're going to get. There you go. You were taught something photography-wise on this podcast. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Let's get that petition started. What do y'all think? I'm out.